It's almost overwhelming to think about how much food goes to waste in LA alone, right? And then there's like all the cities next to LA and then all the cities next to those cities. And like, it's really like we're looking for ways to solve problems with the resources that are literally right in front of us.
I myself was a victim of it by seeing food scarcity or seeing even low quality veggies and fruits in our local neighborhood grocery stores, the very few that were around.
I'm Jamiah Hargins, founder of Crop Swap LA and executive director. Our mission at Crop Swap LA is to grow food on unused spaces in ways that create jobs, support the environment, and keep the distribution local. So what we're doing is increasing the supply of food by using space that we have available in an intelligent way to solve the problems that we have here in Los Angeles and many other places. The moment I met my first daughter, Triana, I started Crop Swap LA. It was because I knew she was perfect and beautiful, and I just couldn't imagine as a parent giving her food that was halfway healthy or partially healthy, or I say kind of giving your body a downtick of quality and health.
I feel that for a while we might have probably been in a state of victimhood, where victimhood could be stagnated energy and not being progressive or forward thinking. We may not have the grocery stores
or the resources readily available,
but there is an organization and there's a group of people who are passionately growing food with that intention of nourishment and value for the people. It's become definitely part of the healing component for me to be able to come back and service the same community that I grew up in.
Crop Swap LA, we do a great job of educating those that are trying to make a more conscious effort to lower their carbon footprint, and also educate them on other topics within the field, and that topics could be food justice. Also just the principles and the importance of gardening.
Los Angeles has a food supply system that is dependent upon grocery stores, and for that reason, it restricts access to those who aren't nearby grocery stores. The entire supply chain up and down from the point at which it's planted and the seeds are created and delivered, all the way until the point at which we consume it, is corrupt. What we're doing instead is showing that system's irrelevant. It has failed. We're not trying to revive it. We're instead trying to show that a new system exists where food is available openly and you deserve it because you live within a mile of the location it's grown. And you are excited to purchase it and eat it because you know the people who've grown it. You know your neighbors. They may live within that mile and feel like you're supporting a hyper-local, nutrient-dense, and environmentally friendly operation. So we are really trying to shift the conversation more toward a new system of local propagation and distribution.
It's like, okay, I can go to the grocery store or I can go to right down the street from my house and pick my crops up. It's cool to have good and natural food. I feel like that's a big thing. When you can go out there, actually see your food being grown, being able to see your food in person.
We're on the harvesting fleet for Crop Swap. Every week we have a CSA bag at our microfarms, and this creates a lot of variety for our weekly bags.
we'll take this to headquarters first, and then tomorrow morning all of the fruit that we've harvested Thursday through Saturday gets transferred to Asante, and then they go into the bags.
We now have EBT and SNAP benefits available for folks to subsidize the cost of the food. We also have our second and now soon third micro farms developing here in Los Angeles so that we can have a triangle around the Leimert Park neighborhood. Those who don't have space also need food, and they deserve the right to have fresh vegetables at hand. So when we put our minds together, we said, what is the unused land here in LA? Most of it is front yards. There are all these residential spaces and the opportunity is just kind of vacant.
Before my land was a micro farm, it was just simply a pasture of grass. After a while, I started to realize the cost that it does for maintenance and the water I was using just to maintain a nice green grass just wasn't doing anything for me. Why not loan my land to an organization that's doing something to empower my community and the world as a whole? Interesting thing I've noticed was water runs at 2 times, either super early in the morning when you're asleep or super late at night when you're also asleep. So you don't really know how much water is being used and wasted.
What's beautiful about the Crop Swap LA model, besides just the food, is the way we actively strive to mitigate the drought issues. We actually have a recycling water system. All the water that goes into these plants goes back into a reservoir.
Crop Swap LA has also helped homeowners qualify for turf removal rebate. This helps homeowners and the community qualify for assistance to remove their grass and then insert drought-resistant organic landscaping.
We are more intentional with our ways of being and our ways of existing. We are able to be more empowering, creating a visual for our community of not only of how abundant Earth is, but also for us to feel deserving of these
natural resources.
My mission as founder of Crop Swap LA is to create an atmosphere where people feel empowered to grow food on their unused land, and where my staff feel like they can grow food and create love everywhere around Los Angeles.
We all have to eat, but more importantly, health is wealth. So when you know what you're growing, you know your practices are organic, and you see literally the fruit of your labor, it's something very empowering about that.
We're not meant to reinvent the wheel, but to continue to improve the wheel and how it helps us and our generation succeed and pass it on to the next generation. They may be inspired to be like, you know what, I may not do something at this magnitude, but at least I can do something on my own land.
I do feel that it sets this vibration of understanding that there's food scarcity, but yet knowing that you have the power to build and create food.
I want to tell you that it isn't too late to win our food battle. I believe we need to rely upon the abundance of nature as our collective salvation. Scarcity is a false concept. It creates an artificial pressure for goods based on their inaccessibility. If you look along the walls of this alleyway, each one of my ancestors on these walls also had those same challenges and risked it all to do what it needed to do to get by at that time. But at some point, each of us made a decision that if things needed to be changed, we would be the one to do that. So that's my message to you tonight. If you see something that needs to be changed, you are now the one to do that. Crop Swap LA and my team and I know is that when you combine nature, sunlight, soil, water, it creates an abundance and accessibility versus inaccessibility.